Violet, and I run a little sticker and clay business called Truth Illustrated. And about 10 months ago, I made a video about my sticker making process. And since then, I have learned a lot. And I really want to share that in a nice condensed form for anybody who is interested in selling and making their own stickers, particularly sticker sheets, because that's a whole different beast from individual die cut stickers. So if you're into making stickers, then stick around. This is the video for you because I'm going to show you step by step how to get your stickers from your head to a physical sheet. We're going to do that by starting in the sketchbook, taking that into Adobe Procreate, and then we're going to teach you how to get those files ready and set to go into the Silhouette Studio. And from there, how to print them correctly with the bright printer colors. And then we're going to use this pretty little machine here that is not as finicky as you think. If you know how to treat her, she will treat you well in return. So please feel free to make use of the timestamps below so that you can jump to exactly where in the video you may personally be stuck, so you don't have to listen to me yabber on. Thanks for watching.
I really recommend drawing in a physical sketchbook first. It helps you get your ideas out, what customers would love. Take your time here. Don't rush it. Open Procreate, click the little plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, select Square, and that's going to give you a large enough canvas to work on, and turn off that background color. Now that you have your file open and set up, go ahead and insert your photo. Once it's placed, it will appear on your canvas. Tap the N on the layer and bring the opacity down with the slider. You're going to draw each sticker individually. One quick heads up, Procreate deletes anything that falls outside of the canvas. So for example, if I want to draw this little lemon right here, I'll use the selection tool and isolate just that lemon. As you can see, the rest of the image disappears, but don't worry about that. You can insert the same photo as many times as you need to and create as many layers as necessary. So now that the reference is in place, create the new layer. Click on that layer and choose the brush you want. Make sure you have the outline color selected that you want and start drawing. Once you've finished that character, create another new layer and repeat the process. You can turn off the previous layer so it stays safe and it isn't accidentally edited. Then go back to the reference layer, tap clear, and insert the same photo again so you can move to the next character. Select your new drawing layer and continue the same process for each sticker. Once you've finished all your drawings, you'll export them one at a time. So to do that, select your layer, choose Share, and export it as a PNG so it keeps the transparent background. Save the image and repeat that for each layer. And when you're done, save all those PNG files to your laptop and we'll bring them into Silhouette Studio. Go ahead and open Silhouette Studio. Go to File. It automatically generates an 8.5 by 11 size. You can modify it here if you want, but I find that it works best for most sticker paper. Now I'm going to go over down here to the Print and Cut panel and enable registration marks. I have the length set to 0.5 inches. It actually generates at 0.7, but I personally find that 0.5 works, and it doesn't mess up the Cameo 5's registration or cut line accuracy. This is the registration space. Making it a little bit smaller gives me more space to design bigger sticker sheets. Now we're going to go over here and use the rectangle tool. I'm going to make it an aqua line so that my future cutting lines are distinguished from each other by color. And I'm also going to quickly draw this rectangle, and then I'm just going to resize it up here. I'm going to click aspect ratio here, and then I'm going to type what I want it to have the height of 6 inches and be about 4.5 inches wide. Then using the section tool, I'm going to move it a little closer to the edge because I'm going to copy and paste it in the future once I've correctly outlined and laid out my sticker sheet. That way I don't have to do all this work twice. Now we're going to merge in our PNGs, our artwork, by going to our files and dragging in our individual PNGs one at a time. Now that everything's been merged onto the canvas, we'll move them off to the side. I'll lock the aspect ratio and just type in 1, so everything's going to be shrunk down to about 1 inch. And now you can start to lay out the sticker sheet as you want it to look when it's printed. Take your time with this. It's kind of the fun part. Okay, now that I've laid it out the way I want it and kept in mind the spacing between the stickers so there's no overlap with the cutting lines, I'm going to trace them. We do that by going over to the trace panel, clicking trace area, highlighting this area here, and then going down to threshold and putting that all the way up to 100%. Then we're going to click trace. As you can see, there is a red outline. That's your trace lines. Now, carefully select all the PNGs and group them. This can take some careful clicking, but once you've selected all the PNGs, you're going to group them by pressing Command G, or you can right-click and hit Group, then move them off to the side. Now right-click on the tracings and right-click and select Release Compound Path. This breaks it into individual pieces because right now it's all moving as one piece, which is not what we want. Once you've clicked Release Compound Path, as you can see, it breaks everything up into individual cut lines, which is what we're aiming for. Now let's delete the extra lines that we don't want. So we're going to zoom in here and delete any cut lines we don't need. I don't want individual elements of these stickers cut out, just the outline of the main sticker itself. So go ahead and take a little time to go through and delete any trace lines that you don't want to become cut lines. Now select all the tracings again, being careful not to include the aqua sticker sheet cut line. And once we've selected all the tracings, we're going to go over to the offset panel and click offset. This distance setting determines how far the offset lines will be from the tracing. As you can see, this number is too large, so we need to bring it down so there's no overlap. Adjust it until the lines are no longer overlapping, but still as thick as you prefer. I'm going to say I'm comfortable with what I've got. Now I'm going to manually delete all of these inner trace lines because if I leave them, they will register as cut lines and we don't want double cut lines. Now bring the artwork back underneath and align it underneath the cut lines. You can duplicate your sticker sheet here. Just make sure the edge doesn't overhang your printable area. And now that I have it lined up the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and print this. Once the dialog box pops up, go to Preferences and select the correct paper. I'm using Premium Presentation Paper Matte because my sticker paper is matte, not glossy. Always check your sticker paper so your colors print correctly. I'm also setting it to high for crisp, detailed prints. Next, under Color Correction, choose Custom and Advanced Color Controls. I'm using Adobe RGB because it has a wider color range. And I choose Gamma 2.2 because it adjusts the brightness curve, so nothing comes out too dark or washed out. I also like to nudge saturation and contrast up just a little bit, like 5 on each, so the colors pop and the details stay clear. Of course, you can adjust these to your own taste, but these settings seem to work best for my artwork. Then hit OK and OK again, and be sure to hit apply so that the settings are applied. And now we're ready to print. Before I hit print, I want to make a note. If you're not seeing all of these color setting options, you're probably using your computer's generic driver. You're going to need to go to your printer's official manufacturer website and download the actual printer driver. But finish this video first. Just save it so you can come back and do it later. I've written all the steps down in my description to make it easy. Go ahead and grab your sticker paper, load it into the printer, and don't worry about selecting the paper or color settings on the printer itself. What we set on the computer in the printer driver is what actually controls the print, so nothing on the physical printer will override it. Gotta be patient. All right. Here is the finished print. I'm actually quite happy. I think it's quite similar coloring to what I have on my computer. So now I'm going to laminate this. Okay, when you go to adhere your sticker sheet to your cutting mat, be sure to have the registration, this little black square box here at the very top corner, aligned and flushed with the ruler markings of the cutting mat. So you don't have to have one of these, but they are so handy. It really does help smooth it down and get away from any air bubbles or have it peel and pop up as it's running through the cutter. These laminating sheets are great because they're slightly larger than the actual sticker paper, as you can see. You'll find if you print enough that these cutting mats will no longer be sticky, and the paper will need to either be taped down or have a little overhang of the laminate hold it in its place. I highly recommend peeling back the laminate just a little bit. I like to flatten it down like that because this is going to help align it to the corners a lot more accurately and less chance of air bubbles. Make sure there's a little bit of overhang, really paying attention to keeping everything straight and flush because you don't want it to be stuck on sideways so that part of your sticker sheet is not laminated. You're going to want to slowly go back and forth like this as you pull on this little tab here. Just watching for air bubbles because if you don't do it correctly, you'll get the hang of it, but the first few times you might need to practice so you don't get any air bubbles. It's all nice and laminated and ready to be loaded into the Cameo 5. Now when you're loading it in, there is a very faint little arrow, and so you want to make sure that the edge of the cutting mat is flush with that little line and arrow, and that it is underneath these little white rollers that are going to pull the cutting mat up into the machine. And once you have that aligned, you're just going to press this little up arrow here, and it takes it in. I've loaded the sticker mat into the Cameo and it's ready to go. So go ahead and click on the Send tab and make sure that you select the circle intersecting a square icon. It will show you the cut by line color panel and what we're going to look for under the material column. And now you can see why we made the color of the cut lines different. Select the aqua colored cut line, which is the sticker sheet outline. We want to cut it all the way through the laminate sticker paper. So I've created a setting called die cut. You can create your own custom die cut settings here under material type, but since mine's already created, I'm just going to search for it. And there it is. What it shows under modified setting is it's a force of 27, a pass of 1, speed of 5, and a blade depth of 6. Now for the cut line of the stickers themselves, we don't want the cut to go all the way through the paper, so we'll use a kiss cut setting, and the only real difference is the blade depth, which is 2. Okay, we're ready to hit send. All right, now that we've hit send, it's going to start registering. It's going to try to read these registration marks. That's a happy sound. That means the registration marks were read and it's going to go into cutting. As you can see, it's starting to just do the die cut cutting around the sticker sheets. And now it's starting the second cut, which is the little kiss cut, which goes around each and every little sticker. All right, it just finished. So now all you have to do is press this little down arrow here and it spits it out for you. This is the best part. This is the best part when it's all done. You can see the cut lines. You can see that the artwork is centered within them. So that is awesome. I recommend bending the mat so you don't bend the sticker sheet itself. It really confirmed that the cut and depth is right. As you can see that it didn't go through. The cuts did not go through on the back. And see, it's a really nice kiss cut here where the sticker comes up but it doesn't cut through. So we did it. Congratulations. Wow, if you made it this far, please put a lemon emoji in the comments. And if you have any questions about the sticker making process, comment below and I'll try to answer it. These are some of the other things I make. Let me know if you'd like me to make a video on how I make them, how I hunt for deals for the best prices on supplies, my sale price versus cost to pricing method, and how I get them listed on my website using WooCommerce. I'd be so happy if you'd like to check out my shop over at godsdwellingplace.com. Use my coupon code THANKS15 for 15% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe if you got something from this video.